welcome to another episode of Tackle and Tacos. This is, I think, episode 7, maybe something like that. Episode 8, right around there. But we just want to say thanks to the guys at the Working Class Bowhunter Podcast Network for letting us do this every week. Don't forget to check out our website, tackleandtacos.com, all of our social, also Tackle and Tacos, Facebook, Instagram, all that. So let's get into it. We got a good guest this week. I think Kyle Vandever. I think that was it. I think I got it. So
yep,
I think that was it. He's giving us the thumbs up in the waiting room right now.
Nice.
So,
yeah. All right.
And
so
can
yeah,
we just say that was a great intro, Nate.
Yeah. Dang.
That was very good.
I'm not gonna bank on that every week. So
I will say, people who don't know, who weren't here like 3 minutes ago, Nate is set up in a room in his house in Davenport, Iowa. Lola and I are in Wisconsin, and Nate, going to the next level of professionalism, like brought a studio light in, not realizing that his cat was in there as well. And so he went to hit record, and imagine his hand is a cat walking around, like this silhouette of a cat. I'm like, dude, you got to get that thing out of here, dude. That's gonna be so
do something with the cat. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had to knock you down a peg because your intro was so good. I didn't want you to get a big head.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, Lola,
it was pretty good, but I did forget to mention Grizzly Coolers. Our new sponsor, Kenai Gear, Kenai Coolers. So I gotta give a shout out to them and say thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, grizzlycoolers.com. Kenai is I don't know how you even call it. It's still Grizzly Coolers, but
it's their lifestyle line.
Their lifestyle / angler line. Like they make this cooler, but they make some in teal and hot orange and red and all these different things. And I fished a tournament last week with their little lunchbox deal, kept all my dry stuff in the cooler in there. They just make a bunch of cool stuff. So yeah, for sure. Y'all ready? You want to get to our guest? So we are so pumped to bring this dude in all the way from Idaho, my first friend I've ever made in the great state of Idaho. So let's see if we can do this seamlessly. All right, Kyle, you there?
What's up, guys?
Hey,
what's going on?
All right, so yeah, so thank you again, Kyle, for being here, man. We are so pumped to have you on the podcast.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the opportunity. And when you guys mentioned tacos, I instantly perked up. So I was kind of keen from that moment on. So excited to chat with you guys today.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. So, all right, so let's go. We talked about this a little bit beforehand, but we have 5. I just did it with 2 hands. That looks like 10. So we have 5 categories of questions for you, sir. And you can pick which one you want to go with first, and then we'll just kind of shoot from the hip a little bit. I don't want it to be too scripty or whatever. But the categories are in no particular order. The first one was what was it? Life questions, which is kind of personal questions, but again, not weird personal. Taco questions, because tacos, you know what I'm saying? Number 3 was rapid fire. So just a bunch of stupid things that don't mean anything, like this or this. And you just got to shoot from the hip and just name it out there. Number 4 was, you could call it generic or predictable podcast questions. Not bad, but just questions you might hear on other podcasts, And then the 5th one is Kyle Vandever specific questions. So things that I think are a little more we couldn't ask the questions in that category to anybody else because they wouldn't know what we're talking about. So where do you want to jump off, sir?
Let's go with the this or this kind of questions from the hip.
Okay. All right, Lola, you got them. So you run them through. See what he does with them.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Is there a timer on this or just snap?
I mean, there should be.
We should. We could add one over in the corner or something maybe, but yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Fly or drive?
Fly.
Fish or hunt?
Hunt.
Soft shell, flour, or anything else?
Soft shell flour for sure.
Yeah.
Shorts or pants?
That's the guy.
Shorts.
Okay.
Salsa or queso?
Queso.
Oh, that was quick.
That's a tough one.
I like that answer too, man.
Yeah.
I do too. That's a tough one. I like queso better too.
Fish shallow or deep?
Deep.
Okay.
Old country or old school hip hop?
Ooh, old country.
Oh, wow. All right.
nice.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Scary movies
Very
or
nice.
comedies?
Comedies. Is there rom-coms
All
in
right.
there? Because
Are you a rom-com guy?
Yes,
okay,
yes.
I would say I'm like a closet rom-com guy, but now I just like
Oh
fully
man.
discllosed.
Okay.
Yeah, the closet is
Okay. Off the
no
top of the
longer
head, what's a
closed.
rom-com that you like? What do you like, Kyle?
Oh, dude, pretty much Matthew McConaughey from early on. Like, what is it? Like
Okay.
Fool's Gold, all those. Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
knew that
really
way
fast.
too quick. I just outed myself way too fast.
Dude, Matthew McConaughey, I feel like he's one of like the 5 dudes who I would love to just hang out with. Like he just seems like the funniest, chillest, like just made
Romantic, funny man.
well, I didn't want to say romantic maybe, but yeah, he just seems like a cool dude. And I'm a big Texas Longhorns fan. He goes to all the Longhorn games. And yeah, he just seems like a dude who would just be like normal, like not pretentious, not arrogant or condescending, just like I think you could have him in the boat and he'd be like, all right, let's go fishing. Like it'd just be so chill or something. But all right, sorry. Keep going.
Okay, what's that?
I said he's a guy you'd want to have a beer with, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I only have 3 more.
Okay,
so
let's go.
fast car or lifted truck?
Or van.
Fast car.
All right. What about van? If we put van.
Van for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Van.
Spinning or bait casting?
Ooh, bait casting.
Yeah. Agreed.
Coffee or energy drink?
Coffee. 1000%.
Yeah. And so are you what is the coffee y'all are always making on like the videos that you guys are doing?
Oh, we're pretty Tiff, who is basically like our trailer mom, but she stocks us out with like Black Rifle, anything local too. Okay. But yeah, we're pretty dialed in the coffee department in the trailer.
I like
That's
it.
awesome.
What's your so like for the longest time, dude, I was really into dark roast coffee. I just thought it was better for whatever reason. And then I actually have a friend, shout out. We do the stupid thing where we make a fake air horn sound. Shout out my friend Hannah, who is like
love her.
she starts coffee shops like all over the world. Like she's been in like Israel and
she's in Israel now.
Oh, she's in Israel now. She's been in, I don't know, all of these Scandinavian countries. And she made my wife and I like this what was it? It looked like a chemistry set with like a really light roast coffee. And now I'm like a super light roast guy. Like the Black Rifle, I can't remember what it's called, but it's got a dog on like the front, like a lab on the front of the bag. Dude, it is so dope.
Yeah, like so good. I feel like light roast has more flavor or something.
Yeah.
Because the dark roast is just burned more.
It's really
isn't that what she said?
Yeah.
The Flying Elk is my favorite Black Rifle, and it's a light roast too. And I'm not a light roast guy, I'm medium roast, but Flying Elk, if you got a chance, try it. It's like a little bit of creamer.
Okay.
You guys creamer?
I'm gonna
I'll
remember
have
that.
to do
Yeah,
that.
I remember that one. Flying Elk, dope. Okay. All right, so let's jump
I
off
definitely
on
prefer the creamer.
yeah, Nate's,
I'm with Nate.
yeah,
I'm with Nate.
are you really?
That's funny.
Heavy creamer.
Wow, that's surprising to
Like
me. I don't know
flavored,
why,
like
but-
flavored creamer.
Yeah. Man.
Oh my gosh, you
rom-coms and
got
the creamer
so
now.
so bougie.
You look so ashamed, but yes, god dang it. I like blueberry truffle. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's dope.
Oh, that's
okay,
really
I mean
funny.
it's fine. I'm not like super judging you. I'm just surprised. That's all. I just feel like most dudes who are like sort of. I'm not saying you are because you like have the least pretentious vibe at all. But I feel like dudes who are sort of like coffee snobbish, like they're like creamer is not the thing. Creamer is not the ticket. But
That's not me.
You like a food drink every once in a while.
yeah, sometimes.
Hey, it just tastes good, man. Don't have to.
Yeah,
we don't have to
and that's
roast
what it's
it.
about, right? Yeah, it's the same thing as tacos. That's what it's about. It tastes good.
Yep.
So, all right, let's jump into what was the top one?
Life?
No, it wasn't life questions.
Life
was it?
questions was on top.
Okay, life questions. Let's do life questions. Here, hit them with a life question,
There you go.
Lola. Okay.
Oh gosh, sorry, that was
Oh
probably
yeah,
loud.
that's a good one. All right, this is existential, deep, shallow, however you want to answer this. Who is Kyle Vandever?
Oh, Kyle is man. Once he enjoys having fun with friends and was lucky enough to kind of marry 2 things that he enjoys, and that is the outdoors and filming. And I got lucky somewhere in there and get to do something I enjoy for work.
Yeah, that's
Love
awesome.
that.
Where did that confluence come from? Like how did what you really like doing and the work opportunity, how did they run into each other?
So I graduated college and had a marketing and public relations degree, and ended up working with Toyota for a couple years, and bought a camera, bought a GoPro, and just like started filming whatever around the house, and ended up filming weddings, like a friend's wedding. I think my first,
your wedding videos were great.
Like it was one of the first things I did to make money. I think the first thing I ever did, I got like 2 gift baskets, like my first 2 weddings, and it was just for friends. And the first time I got paid, I think I got paid like $800, and it was my 3rd wedding. I think I got paid $800, and like something clicked in my head, and I was like, oh, I can make money doing this. Like it never was like for money or anything. I was like, oh, okay. Like, so that kind of was how I started video. And then, kind of just like lucked into the whole fishing thing. Brandon, my buddy Brandon, who I film with now, saw that I filmed fishing or filmed weddings, and has called me up and said, hey, you want to try filming fishing? I was like, I've never really fished my entire life, but kind of sent me down this whole weird trajectory of where I'm at. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was going to ask, like, who approached who in that relationship? Was it your idea to tell him, hey, I can really help you out here with some videography and some good shots, or was it his idea? So
yeah, he definitely reached out. He'd seen that I filmed wedding videos, so I don't know where he got the weird idea that I could do anything with fishing. And he started filming the series the year before, like on his YouTube channel, with another videographer, and that videographer kind of left after the first season, and he just hit me up out of the blue, and I was like, sure, I guess. Like he asked what it would cost, and I just threw like a wild number out there, and he's like, yeah, come on. I'm like, oh boy, like I had no idea what I was doing. Like I was like, I guess I'm filming fishing now. So yeah.
And did you know Brandon before that? Like y'all are buddies now, yeah?
Yeah, he's like a big brother to me, but like we went to high school together, and I was 2 years under him, younger. But we weren't like friends in high school. We played like similar sports and stuff, but we were far from friends. His sister, I was actually probably closer with his younger sister than him. So it's kind of odd how we ended up being buddies now. Couldn't have seen that from high school.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. Yeah, I like it. So you don't fish, but obviously if anybody is watching this, listening to this, all you got to do is go to my man's website, his Instagram, whatever. You can see an absolute common thread of passion just for being outside, whether that's running your van on the beach, or like slow motion, super sick shots, like diving into a lake on like a beautiful scenic, like mountainside, just really cool outdoor. Where did your love of the outdoors come from, and how did it start?
I grew up on like 20 acres with my family, and I grew up riding motorcycles and hunting and fishing, not necessarily like fishing for bass, but more like trout fishing. Not even fly fishing. It was just like bobber fishing, but like hunting, my family was always been like big into hunting and elk and deer. And so I kind of grew up around that scene, and I'd grown a love for it because I just love the culture. And through just weird instances, I ended up filming it, which is crazy to look back at now because it ties into so much of what my family and my background growing up was. So it's kind of cool how it all melded together. But I've always just loved the outdoors. I grew up around it. I've been in Idaho, we have a ton of public land. So I was fortunate to be able to experience that through whether it be backpacking, riding motorcycles in some beautiful areas, or elk hunting with my dad. I remember like growing up, just following my dad around in the woods and just like staring at his feet after hours. As you're a little kid, you're just kind of like out there just walking. And I gotta experience some really cool things in the wilderness with my dad. So I'm grateful for that.
That's so special.
So cool.
Happy. Yeah. I'm happy to be able to, my goal with what I'm doing now is to kind of like showcase how great the outdoors can be. And not only for the fishing side of it, but just the bigger picture of it. Like being outside, I think, is just good for your soul in a lot of ways. Like you feel those like special moments where clarity is just like the purest it'll be.
come on.
and tapping into that. Yeah.
Yeah. Golly. Do you, I feel like I know the answer to this just by the way you speak, but do you read at all? Are you a reader?
I do read. Yeah. I enjoy.
There's a really rad book. You may have already read it called The Last Child in the Woods, by Richard. Gosh, dog it. It's basically a psychological book about, just the overall benefits of like actually going outside. And they've done these crazy, I don't think they necessarily did it as tests, but like where guys in prison, for example, who have a view of the outdoors are sick something like 33% less. And children who spend time outside, how like their severity of like ADHD is, I don't know how they quantify that, but it's just significantly lower than those who don't spend time outside. And it's not like a pilgrimage against screens, but it's just this really cool book about like, don't let your child be the last child in the woods. And you're kind of speaking that language, like that passion, that like just your soul. I mean, for me, like I, Nate, Lola, we all bow hunt, and around here in the Midwest, you'd probably be bored out of your mind because we just sit in tree stands and wait for something to come. But in those moments, it's just so peaceful and so pretty. And like when a deer walks by that you have no intention of shooting, and it's just this serene, beautiful moment. There's just nothing like being outside. There just isn't.
Yeah. I feel like there's a certain sense of like, for me at least, is that clarity seems more real, and like you're not distracted by other things. Your mind's it's almost like a meditation in a way to me. Yeah. Like it's just being outside. It's an amazing thing, and it is interesting seeing like the change in direction of like, we're so focused on screens and phones and whatnot, but like you got in the backcountry or you're anywhere and you're camping for a couple of days and you're just like, you come back and you're like, oh my gosh, like I was in heaven just for that, like those 3 days or something. So it's amazing to see.
Yeah. It's almost like, when you camp for a while, hunt for a while, get off the water or whatever, where those other distractions aren't there. It's almost like detox or something, like you can breathe and then you come back to it. And it's like, oh man, I got 48 emails to answer and these annoying people from Wisconsin wanting to interview me about tacos. Like, what the heck, man?
Oh man.
Let's see.
Right
now,
question? He's probably got a bunch of reflection in his head, just how much he'd rather be outside doing something else than sitting here with us,
It's good talking to people. Yeah. So when are those tacos out? No, I'm just
I know, seriously. I'm like so hungry. I don't know why I didn't make them.
Yeah. So Amateur Hour, our first video podcast we ever did with a couple of homies around here who fish tournaments in the same club that Lola and I are in. And then they film their stuff. It's a father and son, just a really cool vibe. And I asked him, why are you filming your tournaments? And he said, I just want to keep these memories with my son. Just really cool stuff. And we made shrimp tacos for them, and it was so dope.
I made Puerto Rican rice and beans, really and we had super yummy
and then
tacos.
I totally messed up the audio because it was like our first podcast, so they have to come back. But they're like, we'll come back for more tacos. And I'm like, okay,
we'll make
cool.
something else.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, what you got, Lola?
Okay, what is something about you people probably wouldn't expect besides the rom-com?
Besides Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, I already outed that one. No, I think probably the biggest surprise to people just like working in the fishing industry is the fact that I have no background when I came into it of fishing, and still I'm very, very minimal. And like, I'm just lucky enough to be around some of really, really great fishermen and learn from them, but I'm still terrible. But it always surprises people, like, because in this industry, it's like people grow up in fishing and they are in bass fishing for their entire life. And it's just such a unique thing to see somebody from the outside that comes in. And every time I like meet someone in fishing, they're like, you're from California, aren't you? I'm like, no, I'm from Idaho. But like, it's like they pick up like this surfer guy and like totally not in the fishing world. But definitely throws people off a bit that I'm not like a diehard bass fisherman.
Yeah. They're like, you're not one of us.
Yeah. They're like, wait a second. No.
Yeah.
So I got a bass question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I got a bass question. So aside from Brandon, who like, we all watch his videos, hear him talk and everything, he just seems like he absolutely knows everything. Aside from him, who's somebody that you fished with and you're like, whoa, this guy has it figured out?
Who have I fished with that I think really has it figured out? Just from being around, I haven't really fished with him. But I think Justin Atkins, I think he's a really talented fisherman on tour. There's so many guys that are just amazing on tour. But I mean, hanging out with him, and then Carl Jacobson is probably, I think, one of the guys that is incredibly, his fishing IQ is like through the roof. And like talking to Brandon, it's crazy to say, is like he's gotten so good fishing for bass, but his entire life he grew up and he didn't fish for like a bass. Like they have a totally different species. So it's so crazy to see how good and how fast he's progressed. And like he's been here, you know, almost maybe like 7 years or so. And like he's grown so much just in that 7 years, and just crazy to see like in 10 years where he's going to be at. He will be one of the best in the sport, I think.
Yeah, we're all big fans of his for sure. So Carl's an awesome dude. Yeah.
The glide. Throw the glide.
The glider. The glider.
Yeah, the glider. Get out there, crikey, in the water. So I feel like that wasn't that bad. In the water.
Oh, you're still talking about your accent.
I've done so much worse at accents than that one.
That's true.
Do you ever fish with Brandon? Like, do you guys ever just go out and like just kind of goof around, or is it always like business? You're fishing, filming this tournament.
There was like a sweet spot like a couple years in where we fished a lot together just for fun, even. And both of us like just trajectory of like what our careers have done. And he's usually very busy too, but we haven't fished so much this year. Last year we fished a bit together. But I do like, those are special days when we go out and fish. And usually like when we go out to film something on the water, just for like whatever, by like 2 hours in, I'm like, the camera's just like on the back deck and we're not even worrying about it anymore. And we're fishing together. So he's like, he's not gonna like kind of like make sure I'm filming stuff. So usually we'll kind of fish a little bit together. He's a good dude to fish around, except for he catches all of them. I'm sitting back there and I've got like 2 fish, and he's like, yeah, just like, this is like probably his like 12th 4-pounder. And I'm like freaking dragging a worm off the back of the boat, just like
waiting for something to happen. You're like, oh,
yeah.
Is there any chance he left one behind for me?
Dude. Yeah. So there is one story where I fished an open because they had they needed an extra guy during like the COVID year. So they had like an extra spot as a co-angler. And I got to practice with them one day, and where was it? Arkansas River. And it's just terrible fishing. And I just went out for one day, and I'm on the back of the boat, and I was throwing a buzzbait just like all day, and just whining a buzzbait just on top. And he just fished this area, and he just hears like this, sounds like an airplane toilet, just like woof, just like eats this buzzbait. I caught a 4-pounder in practice, and like it was like on the Arkansas River that week was like a 4-pounder was like gold. Like that would have been like big fish of the derb probably.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know what I was doing. I just like was back there just like
like me every time we fish.
That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah. I was like, what are you doing? He's mad at you for like doing
You're
well
like,
at
check
it.
it out.
I'm like, did I do it right? Yeah.
You hold it up backwards. He's like, no, come on.
Oh man. Yeah. You guys would laugh at me for how bad I'm actually really terrible at fishing. But like for the first couple of years, I didn't even know how to like lip a fish to like hold it up. Oh man, you'll have to watch some of the old YouTube videos of us fishing. It's just terrible.
Have to.
Oh
yeah. We one of the things I really appreciate about your videos, and just know too, I'm not trying to bring up Brandon constantly. It's just most of the videos that I see with you, like, because this is about you, like fully, you know. But I like when you flip the camera around, or when Brandon holds the camera and points it at you, because I feel like, and maybe you can comment on this. You know, you could teach a monkey to hold a camera. You could teach a monkey to hold a fishing rod. You know what I'm saying? But you get the right 2 people together, and the dynamic there is something that's palpable. I don't know if that's the right word, but like where you can kind of feel it. You can feel like these 2 dudes actually care about each other. These 2 fellas are on the water. They're actually having fun with one another. And then mix in the fact that you're ridiculously good at shooting and editing. Do you think that y'all's dynamic plays a role in how the videos feel?
Yeah, and we've talked about it before. I think everything we want to do and what we do on YouTube is to be authentic to ourselves, and that means maybe not doing clickbait stuff, but like it really means that we're just who we are, and we're not going to change that, and we're gonna stick in our ways for that, and for better or for worse. But it's one of those things where he's a genuine person, and he has a lot of really like good insight and things that he brings to what we do as a team, and Tiff also. But it's one of those things. It's everything we do is authentic. It's like he's my big brother, and I feel grateful to kind of know him and be able to work with him in a lot of ways too. So it's definitely mutual too. He lets me know that. It's I feel lucky. I feel lucky.
That's cool.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Can we, Nate, Lola, y'all cool? Can we jump over? Because I've been hanging on this, just my nerdery. Like I want to get to this so badly. Can we go to the specific to Kyle questions, like some techie stuff?
Yeah, I guess Nate and I'll just sit back and listen.
Is that
I'm just
okay?
kidding.
Absolutely.
Are you okay with some nerd talk, Kyle?
It's like all the years of hearing Jordan talk and me not having a clue what he's talking about.
Yeah. I'm like, no, we need to check the frame rate. No,
you guys are gonna be like, this is great.
Your ND filter set too low. And you're like, what? Anywho, so first off is, what do you shoot on, and what is the drone that you use? Because you use a lot of drone footage, and I've always told people, people say, hey man, I'm gonna get a drone and start making videos, and I'm always like, dope, but most people don't want to watch just drone footage, and you use a lot, but you use it like in the right way, like shorter, like really engaging, like well composed clips. So what are you shooting on?
So I shoot on a Sony A7S III. And dude, they're the best. They're the best. I've always talked about getting a bigger cinema camera, and some guys shoot with those. It just for the style of filming I like to do the best is very mobile, run and gun. The camera isn't a big. The camera doesn't take away from me filming. Whatever it is that doesn't take away from me getting the moment, the story, the shot. I try to just steer towards that. If it's my cell phone, it'll be my cell phone. That is kind of like the rule of thumb I've always been around. And you'll see guys that will film with big rigs, and they have a big monitor that they see and all this stuff. And it's funny. One of my good friends, Sam Moore, he has all this gear on his camera, and he has every arm that has a light and a monitor, whatnot. And I love Sam, and he that just works for him. But for me, it's I just have a camera. I have my mic on top for wireless mics that we run sometimes, or a shotgun. And then I run with a 24 millimeter or a long lens for when we're on the water.
Sure.
But I try not to be held back by gear. And that's probably my biggest, I think it's probably one of my strengths for what I do for hunting videos we've done. All the fishing videos is very minimal gear, whatever it takes just to tell the story is what I need to do or need to have. And then the drone is just the Mavic 3 Pro, or Classic now, the Mavic 3 Classic. There's so many drones, but it's one of those things DJI, they just came out with an Inspire 3, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's just there's so many different ways to get a shot with a drone. But for me, the advice I have with video is a drone is used as an establishing shot. So if you change location, I feel like if you're fishing deep, say this in just a fishing video, if you're fishing deep and then you are fishing in the next, Brennan takes off, or whoever, they're fishing next to the bank on the next shot, there should be somewhat of a, hey, we've moved. So the drone is a great way to show hey, you're closer to the bank now, rather than you're fishing out deep and there's nothing around you, to next thing, the next shot is it's just for flow of the video. I think it makes best to kind of show an establishing if you've moved, or any way that is just telling story. And those establishing shots are very key to keeping the viewer engaged.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, for sure. Yeah. So you went to school, you said. What was your degree in?
I went for marketing and public relations.
Okay, yeah. So you didn't go for any DP type stuff, because you're talking like somebody who is a director of photography.
So it's a funny story. Is my only class I've ever failed my entire life in college was a photography class.
Stop it.
And
That's so cool.
swear. So only class I've ever failed was a photography class, and somehow I ended up using a camera for work every day. So
That's
it's
beautifully
one of
ironic.
those things too. Is like I think film school in a lot of ways is good and bad. I think film school is good for certain aspects, but I think in a lot of ways it's like the best. If with anything, fishing, hunting, it's just practice. And I shot with a Canon T3i for the very first time, and I shot with
You and
that
me are
for
the same. That
dude,
was
I'm
my
telling
camera
you,
too.
the
Yeah.
T3i like that was some of my favorite stuff because it's such a, and I think I just had like a 50 millimeter like 1.8 or something, but it's just one of those things where it's like you pick it up and it's like whatever practice you have with whatever it is, it's just going to make you better. If it's a GoPro, if it's anything, your cell phone. Like I have more questions that I get asked is a lot about gear, and to me, the best answer to me and is whatever it takes to get the shot. Whatever camera you have at your hand, you can tell the story. I tell people is like I could have my mom go film something with her cell phone, and if you're a good enough storyteller, you can make sense of the video and tell a story that is engaging with other people. So the biggest things are like just telling story, in my opinion. And I love that.
Yeah, I agree, man. I used to be a part of this. I used to have a recording studio in my basement. Like I made like hip hop beats and recorded stuff for people and whatever. And there was this really dope web page back in the day. Web page? What am I, 90?
Seriously, who are you?
Anyway, there was a web page. You typed in the www.
Don't forget the HTTP.
Oh yeah, Jeepers Creepers. But it was a terrible name. It was called Gear Sluts. It's a terrible name, but it was just like this like message board essentially where people would go in. Like some dudes were just bragging on the gear they had, then other dudes were like, "How do I get this sound?" And one day they had like a famous like a guest moderator, really dope hip hop producer named RJD2. He has a million songs on like movies and commercials, and like he's just super creative. And somebody asked him, how did you get the one specific snare sound on the song? I think it was the song he's really well known for called Ghostwriter. And he like explained this super long process. And even though he was like the celebrity guest moderator, whatever, everybody was like, oh no, you should have done this. It would have been way faster. Oh, your workflow's way off. You should have tried this and blah, blah, blah. And then like real gently, but sort of like firmly, I guess, directly. Like humbly, but like firmly, he was like, look, it doesn't matter how you get to point B as long as you get there. And that always stuck with me. Like, especially in video, like if you have a point B in mind, as long as you get there, you know, you can get there with a GoPro or an iPhone, or, I mean, when I had my T3i, I was always using the super long lens, even when it didn't make any sense, because I just loved the depth of field that it would create, you know? And so there'd be interviews where it's like right here, you know what I'm saying? But if I moved it to the side, like the background was blurred and it looked so cool. I remember filming Michael Waddell at ATA a couple years ago, and I had the long lens on, and every time it went to my angle, it was just like, I mean, you could just like see like his nose hairs. It was just so tight on him, you know? So I didn't use that shot very much, but yeah, man, I totally agree with you. It's the fact that you get to point B, not necessarily how you get there. And so like, I always tell people, if they ask me, you know, what camera should I get? Or, hey, I got a GoPro, or what? I'm always like, well, whatever you get, like really learn it, like really get to the ins and outs of it. Like, don't be shooting in auto, like figure out manual mode, figure out what frame rate works best for whatever, figure out how to adjust your, you know, the lighting, and, you know, control what you can. And then I totally agree with you. I'm the same way. I used to have a Black Magic camera that weighed 490 pounds, and it was dope, and it was 4K that was like really more like 5-ish 6-ish K, like it was just so crispy. But you don't want to lug that thing around, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to bring another anchor in the boat when you go out. Like, it was just so huge. So yeah, dude, that's dope. Okay, a couple more dork questions. What are you editing on, and what are you color grading on?
I edit on Adobe Premiere Pro. I've done it for quite a while. I've done Final Cut at one point, and I've done even iMovie when I first started. But Premiere is just kind of what I've used now, and mostly I use Premiere for color too. And my color isn't anything fancy. I've heard a lot of good things about other programs, but I try to keep as natural of a look as I can. And it's just kind of like, if it's not broken, don't fix it to me. So I've just kind of used Premiere Pro, and kind of like I feel like I've made it the most efficient program for myself to edit in, and I know it best. So that's kind of the program I'm on. Yeah.
Okay,
That's great.
Cool. Yeah.
The more efficient you can be with it, the better the videos are, right?
That's exactly right.
And
where you're not dreading having to edit. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Does Brandon know his way around the camera, Kyle? Because it seems like I've seen some stuff that he's put out. Like, is he pretty good with a camera?
Dude, honestly, I'm lucky he fishes, or he'd take my job.
Dang.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Is he a Sony guy as well?
He's also a Sony guy, which makes it nice because like we can share lenses and whatnot. But he's a really good photographer, a really good video guy too. But I'm trying to like make sure he doesn't try to take my job eventually. So I'm just gonna kind of like,
if you want, we can edit that out and you can say the opposite. You can be like, he's really not that good. He's lucky to have me around.
I'm awesome.
His video would look like garbage.
It's not very good job security.
Yeah. You got to take care of yourself first, man. Sheesh. What you got?
Well, Nate, do you want to ask the taco questions or should I?
Yeah, I mean, how about we both can? I'll go ahead and
let's do it.
Shoot with the first one.
Serious. And getting down to it, Kyle. The nitty gritty.
Yeah, meat and potatoes. What was the last taco you had? And when?
Oh, dude, I had fish tacos last.
Attaboy.
Let me see. It was like it was this weekend. I think it was Friday. Yeah, it was Friday. Fish tacos Friday.
Yum.
Were
they delicious?
They were good too. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. Yeah.
Yum. Okay, let's say you're on death row. Your last meal has to be taco base. What do you choose?
That's a good one.
I feel like if I had, I feel like I'd probably go fish taco again. But I would want it to like, there's like specific fish taco.
Okay,
like
say what is it?
I would want to. It's like Baja. It's in like Scorpion Bay area. So
okay,
it's a really good. I don't even know the name of this place. But we can't buy it, and we'd go there almost every night and get beers and tacos, and it was probably the best fish taco I've ever had in my life. So I'm gonna stick with that.
What kind of toppings? Like what fixins?
Oh, you got to do like the guac, some cilantro, and dude, honestly, I think that's like my go-to there. But I want it to be like, I want the salsa to be kind of like it's got to be messy when you eat a good taco. It's like kind of messy. You know what I mean? Like you're just going into it with the idea that it's not. You're gonna need like a shower after. That's the big thing.
Yeah. Like you're just still eating and your hands are like this, and you're like, okay, I'm ready for another taco.
Like, can someone hand me a napkin?
It's dripping down your arms. Yeah, exactly.
You want to let
every last drop.
Dude, hey, if you ever come to Wisconsin, you are speaking my language.
Yes, we will have tacos and a good time.
We'll talk cameras. Yeah, it'll be awesome.
Down.
We'll go trout.
Where in Wisconsin are you guys? Are you guys near La Crosse?
We're right north of La Crosse. We're like an hour and 15 minutes from there.
Just over an hour.
Oh, okay, sweet. That's beautiful.
This
up there,
is north, in case you're wondering what I was doing.
That was straight above. Yeah, La Crosse is actually in the attic above us. Yeah, according to Lola.
Sorry.
That's all good. Do you, Kyle? Do you like cooking at all? Do you like making tacos, or are you more like a go buy tacos guy?
I'm like a buy tacos guy. If I'm pretty pathetic. I'm pure bachelor and don't know how to cook. So that's Tiff actually in the trailer, Brandon's wife, taught me how to cook salmon in like a way that's like not gonna, like I was afraid I was just gonna eat and like get sick off of the salmon I cook, but she like foolproofed it. I put it in tinfoil, put all these spices she's given me. So now I can make salmon, and that's like my go-to meal.
Yeah,
nice.
That's all I got though. I'm like a one-trick pony when it comes to cooking.
Dude,
is it pan seared, or how do you cook it?
I put it. This is how basic I just put it in the oven.
Air fryer?
And I know that I gotta. Yeah, no, not even an air fryer. Like I just put it in the oven at 410 minutes. Flip it, and then you're good after 20 minutes. It's good to go.
You don't gotta be ashamed.
That's great.
You were like ashamed to say that. That's dope, dude. That sounds super good.
I'm like mastering it. I would love to cook. Like I like the act of like. I like barbecuing. Like I lived on a sailboat for like the last 2 years, and I'd barbecue off the back of the boat.
That's dope.
And that was like my favorite thing, like barbecue and burgers or like fish or something. It was always my like go-to, but very basic when it comes to cooking. So I'll have to order tacos.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we actually just on our YouTube, we just put up a video making pulled pork tacos. So like slow smoking a pork shoulder, and then instead of making like a pulled pork sandwich, you make a pulled pork taco. Really similar, just a little bit of tweak on the toppings. But when barbecue has a baby with tacos, like I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't not do that.
I like that.
Definitely the money spot.
Those two should be married somehow. Yeah.
They should. Yeah, we should. That should be another t-shirt design. Like I now pronounce you, and there's like a barbecue and a taco like on the back is like a little baby. That's like, all right. Sorry. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. All right. What else we got? What other questions we got?
Nate, do you have another taco question?
Yeah. Do we have anything, Nate? What you got, buddy?
Yeah, we talked about, I mean, it definitely seemed like his go-to was fish. Is there a specific type of fish or?
Dude, honestly,
like I got a buddy. I got a buddy who was telling me how good mahi tacos are. And I've never had them, so.
I'm not super particular. I've had I love like shrimp tacos. We've had octopus tacos last year, which I'd never had, and I was kind of like, it was right after the My Octopus Teacher. Like you just watch that. You should never watch that documentary and then eat octopus tacos. It just doesn't. It's not a good thing.
Guilty or something.
Yeah.
But it was like we were in Baja, and we bought it off some like local fishermen who'd like pulled them out of the rocks, and they're like, this is how you cook it, and it was honestly really good. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not weird texture in a taco. Like the chewiness
it's kind of chewy. It was kind of chewy, but it was honestly like it was unique enough and it tasted good, and we had it seasoned well enough. I think that it was
that's tasty. Really important to be seasoned well.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
That's awesome. It is. That's a real unique taco. I don't even know if I've had one quite that unique. Maybe beef.
I think the weirdest. Have you had? Is that the weirdest taco you had? I went to like a really authentic like Mexican joint one time, where my homie, who was a super taco guy, was like, "Hey, there's a couple like off menu tacos you can get here. Do you want to order some?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And they did like you say this word and everybody thinks you're talking Taco Bell, but this is a thing outside of Taco Bell. Chalupas, like a fried kind of doughy, squishy shell, you know. But it was a cow brain chalupa, but it was literally just like a cross section of the brain. It wasn't like fried up like ground beef. Like you could see the little like indentations and whatever. And I'm on some like, all right, we'll try it. And it was super dope. Like it was so tasty. Like I actually ate the whole thing, and I took the first bite like with like trepidation, like, and then it was dope. Have you had outside of octopus? Have you had any other weird tacos?
So I've had. It's called tripa. I believe it's called tripa. It's cow intestine. And that was that. I didn't know what it was when I first ate it, but like, and you have to get it like very grilled. Or if it's like mushy, it's kind of weird. But it was insane. It was like this hole in the wall place in Mexico, but it was like, cow intestine. I never guessed, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah. Did you eat the whole thing, or did you like?
I did. I didn't know that. I didn't know what it was the first time. So like, it was a lot. Like it was simple to just eat. I was like, man, this is really good taco, whatever. And then my friends told me after, and like, man, you just ate cow intestine. What do you think? And I was like, that's gnarly. But the next night we went back, and I was like, I can't go away from it. It was so good. So I was like, 3 tripa tacos, give it to me.
Yeah, you were locked in. Yeah, you were locked in.
Awesome.
Dude. That's dope. Yeah. Well, hey, we're getting on the time, like 45-ish minutes. So let's ask a couple. Lola, you have them. Some of the like, again, not super unique, but I think kind of good sort of like predictable podcast questions. I think they'd be good to end on. So like number one, Kyle, where can people find you on social media, website, etc., if they want to look into what you got going on?
So you can find me on Instagram, mostly Kyle Vandever, and that's just Vandever on Instagram, and then YouTube on BMP Fishing, and then also my own channel, which is Kyle Vandever, which there's going to be some exciting stuff on my new on my website or on my YouTube channel in the next couple months. So it'll be fun. Yeah.
That's dope. And can you give us any insights, or you can't really let it out of the bag?
Tease? Yeah, a little tease.
Yeah, I've got a new truck camper, and I'll be hitting the road a bit. So there's like a little truck camper that company called Four Wheel Campers. So I'll be kind of hitting the road and being pretty mobile and kind of working from the road and being outdoors a lot.
Oh, that's exciting, dude.
Exciting.
Good for you, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's super dope.
Heck yeah, dude.
Stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So what is the other kind of question? This can almost be the last one, maybe, unless you guys have some more you want to toss in there. But what's next for you, man? Where do you see yourself in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? I mean, you're killing it right now. What does it look like down the road for you?
I'm kind of just I'm kind of in the camp of like whatever kind of flows your way is where you're meant to be. And I'm kind of just following that at the moment, but I know I love the outdoors. I know I love filming, and I want to share stories, impactful stories, whether it be hunting, fishing, somewhere in the lines of that, and hopefully incorporating Brandon or other people who share that same view of love for the outdoors and culture, and how that has just kind of been ingrained in us as human beings to be outside. So that's kind of like along the lines of the realm I'm kind of diving into deeper. And we have some exciting stuff hopefully coming up with the BMP channel, doing more hunting and other stuff for like an adventure series. So that's the next couple of years. So I hope we can get some backing behind it and go that route too.
Yeah, have you ever seen the movie The Secret Life of Walter Mitty?
Oh, favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, Sean O'Connell. I was like, is he?
Yeah.
Sean O'Connell. So, like, is he looking for a snow leopard?
The recluse photographer that nobody can find.
So Sean O'Connell. So funny story. Like, not to make it too much longer, but
I love it.
Do it. Yeah.
When I watched Walter Mitty, Sean O'Connell played a vital role in me wanting to be a photographer. No. Like swear to God.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. I said that to him.
In that photo. Yeah. Like,
sorry, go ahead.
There's so many times in that movie I was like, that is the coolest dude ever. Like, I like in terms of just what he, like his aura, I guess. But it's funny, I've like told people that quite a bit. Sean O'Connell is like a fictional character that made me want to be a photographer, I guess.
I'm seriously gonna cry.
So I feel like that means
that's
like
super awesome.
On like your path, you're sort of like Walter Mittying, because I feel like Walter Mitty is like an archetype, or Sean O'Connell is an archetype of Walter Mitty, or vice versa. You know, because he's sort of like scooping into that in that movie. Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite movies too.
Yes,
but yeah,
same.
that was a great question. That is very that is very right there for sure.
Love that.
Couple more questions, just because you made me think of it. Have other dudes hit you up now, like based on your success, like, yo, I saw your BMP videos, man, like do me a video, whatever? And then do you prefer photography or videography more?
I prefer video more than do. I love photo too, which is a hard thing. But I feel like video is kind of what separates me in a way. Just storytelling aspect. I love like video, moving, telling stories with motion. And that's just kind of like my joy in that, especially shooting it. Editing is where you tell the story, but I definitely love video. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And have other people hit you up and like, yo, dude, do a video for me, or?
Yeah, there's been a few. But it would have to be somebody, I think, that would be. I have a pretty good thing with Brandon in terms of like our working relationship too. So it's like more so on the lines of kind of like, I feel like we have a good opportunity with Brandon, what we've been doing. So I don't want to stray away from that at all. But like he's more than open to me doing other stuff with other things. And like I've worked with a travel brand for the last year. That's like been phenomenal. It's like going to really cool places. And like we went to the Maldives it's unreal. And like, it's totally not my scene, but it's really cool to be a part of it. So I'm pretty strict on doing what I'm doing with the BMP fishing stuff.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, man. Yeah. Lola, Nate, you guys have anything else you want to hit Mr. Vandever with?
I don't think so. Nate?
I think just a thank you, man. This has been awesome. We greatly appreciate it. You know, it's like I said, just kind of an idea we had to get you on and get your perspective on the industry and how you do things and how you became so successful. So we appreciate you taking the time to, give us all the juice, man. Thank you.
Get to know you. This was really awesome.
Really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys ever make it out to Idaho too, come out here. Got awesome hunting, great fishing.
Yeah.
It's good. You guys would love it. And honestly, I appreciate you guys reaching out. It's fun chatting with you guys all through this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, everyone watching, everyone listening, us, dude, thank you so much for being on the podcast, Kyle.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Yep. All right. So that was what a cool dude, man. Kyle's a cool cat. Seriously. That's exactly how I thought his vibe was gonna be. And like back in the day, I was in a band and we were not great, but we did a lot of shows. And every once in a while, they say like you don't want to meet your heroes. I don't know if I'd say Kyle's my hero, but I look up to his art. I look up to his passion, even the way he speaks. And he is who I was hoping he was going to be, if that makes sense. Just an authentic, down-to-earth dude whose passion kind of shows through his work. Absolutely. And that's pretty cool.
Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Like telling a story. Like I just think how he described that was so beautiful and just so, he's
and
great.
I think that's what separates videographers within like certain groups. Like, like I was kind of tongue in cheek saying anybody or a monkey could be trained to hold a camera. But I think where the things really differentiate is people who are telling a story with a camera, not just pointing it and not just clipping through, but like, like he was saying, like this shot is good as a setup, or like I like to take like really wide shots sometimes as a context before you go into a tighter shot of what they're doing to kind of set the scene. And, he's killing it. And yeah, I'm really honored to have him on the podcast. Nate, you got anything else before we shut her down?
Oh man, that was awesome. Such a great interview. And like you said, he was every bit of what we hoped and maybe a little bit more, what an awesome dude. Sure. So
yeah. And he likes Walter Mitty.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah. That was a good sort of off the cuff question. That was dope for sure. And you like knew his name. Isn't the actor Sean Penn?
Sean Penn.
So then as you're saying that, I'm like tripping. Like, no, it's Sean Penn, but his character Sean O'Connell. Yeah. And he put that last was it the film that frame in his wallet that he made him or whatever. And
then it ended up in the trash. Yeah. Oh my gosh, my heart.
We should go inside and watch that.
Okay, let's go.
Okay,
and eat some tacos.
Dude. So again, huge thanks to Kyle. Everybody look him up, check out his work. There's just no way you could watch what he's doing and either A, not be motivated by it because the passion shines through, or B, not just be impressed by it. He's just killing it.
Like, you're gonna want to go outside after seeing his stuff.
And what a great 100%. Could you pay the man? Yeah, could you pay the man a better compliment? You watch his stuff and it makes you want to go outside. That's dope. So from everybody here, Tackling Tacos, we appreciate everybody. Positivity is worth the effort, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.